Half my brain tied behind my back just to make it fair. We start in Bismarck, North Dakota. And Mark, you're up first. Thank you for calling, sir.
Hi, Rush. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Yeah, I was just calling it to make a correlation that everybody wants wealth creation over job creation. That if an employee wanted job creation over wealth creation, they'd simply ask for the lowest wage possible so that every employer could create more jobs in the company.
You know, this is an interesting point. And one of the reasons that I wanted to take your call first, because I think you're really on to something. I think you're on to much more than maybe even you realize. And your observation is by no means insignificant. It's very significant. Americans want wealth creation over job creation. Would you say again what you expressly mean by that?
That every single person, when they get a job, they're looking for the highest wage that they individually can get. They're not trying to look for the lowest wage so that the company can create the most jobs. It's simple, natural, healthy self-interest.
Well, that's undeniable. Well, actually, I could get a little esoteric with this. There are some people who are satisfied with what they earn, but I don't want to get off on that tangent. I'll accept the premise, and that is that Americans want wealth creation over job creation, which takes me to an even larger question. We talk about the job market being bad and people can't find work, and the work that they can find is not satisfying. And there's that. And there's this. Home prices fell in the first quarter to new post-crisis lows. Home prices dropped 2%. I don't know. I don't know how these prices could drop even lower than they already have dropped in the last 3 years. But for people who own homes, it is their biggest investment. It's the quote-unquote American dream. So home values are plummeting. Many people are underwater already. They owe more than their home is worth. And yet that was what they all aspired to. The American dream encompassed many things, but home ownership was the anchor. And that was the number one wealth-creating asset that people had, so they were told. And you need a good career with expansion opportunities, high wage opportunities in order to maintain a house, buy a house, make the payments on it, and so forth. All of these things, everything is gone wrong. And when you say that Americans and people really want wealth creation over job creation, there's no question I think that that's true, but there's a lot more than that that's eating people. And I wonder how many people actually know what is really eating them. I wonder if they've dug deep enough to try to get their arms around and get a handle on what really is bothering them. What I mean is, everything seems out of kilter. This is just not the country we grew up in. And the future is not the future that we all believed in. But why? What is it that's gone wrong? We've had people like Bill Clinton come along and say he's going to build the bridge to the 21st century. And what he meant by that was that Clinton and the Democrats, they are the modernists. We are the guys, they said, we know what the future is going to be. And if you sign on with us, then your future is guaranteed. We know how to take America forward. In fact, Obama's slogan is forward. But in fact, Obama's locked in the 1930s. Obama's a New Dealer. Obama thinks the future is to go back 50 years. Obama thinks this country is a giant failure. Obama thinks this country's never worked, and the vast majority of Democrats agree with him. Now, whether people have heard him, and he has said it, now whether people have heard him say it, or whether they intuit it, they know that that's not right. They know that our best days should not be behind us, and they don't want that to be the case. But we have a sitting president running for re-election using the slogan forward, who actually wants to take us back to the New Deal, to the 1930s. That's American greatness to Obama. But nobody alive really wants that. Nobody wants to go back 50 years. Maybe culturally, in some instances, people would like a little bit more innocence. And I've been thinking about that a lot, too. And I generations, as you get older, the younger generation just appears more radical and a bunch of losers. I think it's happened. Every older generation looks at the young that way for a while. But this time, people are looking at the younger generation and really thinking, my God, they're not prepared or equipped to do anything. And those who are going to school are being taught a bunch of gibberish, and they're coming out in such debt that they're never going to get ahead. And all of these things, when you combine them, add up to an attitude of nervousness and skittishness that I think a lot of people can't really get their arms around. It's not just that we don't have job creation. It's not just that home prices are falling. It's not just that we have all this debt. It's what's behind that. It's the thinking that's led to this that has people on edge and nervous and maybe not being able to understand why. I think this is in large part what gave birth to the Tea Party. It is said that all the spending and all the debt, and that's true. But what it represents and what it means for the future is what really got people out of their homes and going to these town halls. People may not be able to tell you specifically what's going wrong, but they know that the Obama way, the Democrat Party, this is just not the way we have advanced in this. It's not the way things got done. Who knows? Could we win D-Day today, for example?